Forget gold. Forget cash. Real crisis, the most powerful currency on earth, is already sitting in your kitchen. But most people have no idea. The entire global supply chain is a house of cards. And the wind is picking up. Your local grocery store, the one you depend on for everything, is a ticking clock. They operate on just-in-time delivery, meaning they only have about 3 days of food on the shelves at any given time. When the crisis hits, not if, but when, and the trucks stop rolling, those shelves will be stripped bare in hours. We've all seen the pictures, the chaos, the desperation. While others are panicking, realizing their money is worthless and their gold is inedible, you will be calm. You will be in control. Because today, I'm revealing the 8 pantry foods that become absolute gold when society grinds to a halt. Some people will call this fear-mongering. I call it facing reality. This is about knowing what true wealth is when the systems we rely on have failed, and the power that knowledge gives you is absolute. We're counting them down from 8 to 1, so you better stick around for the undisputed king of the crisis pantry. Let's jump right in with number 8. So, food number 8, apple cider vinegar. The Prepper's Chemistry Set. All right, let's kick things off with something you probably have in your kitchen for salad dressings, right? Well, in a crisis, you need to rethink this bottle completely. Number 8 is apple cider vinegar. In a world without reliable pharmacies or cleaning supplies, this bottle becomes a liquid multi-tool. Its value explodes not just for what it is, but for everything it can do. First up, its most critical job, preservation. When the grid goes down and your fridge is just a box, keeping food from spoiling is everything. ACV is a master at this. You can use it to pickle vegetables from your garden or foraged foods, turning a harvest that would rot in days into a calorie source that lasts for months. That skill alone makes you valuable in a community. But here's where it gets interesting. It's a potent cleaning agent. Its acidic nature helps disinfect surfaces and cutting boards, which is critical when sanitation is down, and getting sick is a serious problem. It's known to inhibit the growth of bacteria, like E. coli. Forget the fancy cleaners that will vanish from shelves. This one bottle does the job. And then there's the medicinal side. Now, this is not a replacement for a real first aid kit, but for generations, it's been a go-to. It can be used to clean minor wounds and act as a natural antiseptic. People gargle with a diluted mix to soothe a sore throat or take a bit to calm an upset stomach. In a crisis, health is wealth, and this stuff is like a first aid booster in a bottle. So why is it worth gold? Because it solves multiple high-stakes problems with one cheap item. Someone with food will need a way to preserve it. Someone with a sick kid might trade for it. Its versatility is its power. While others are scrambling for a dozen different products, you have one that does it all. That's not just survival. That's leverage. Food number 7. Bouillon cubes. The flavor lifeline. Coming in at number 7 is an item so small and cheap you walk past it all the time. But let me tell you, in a long-term crisis, this little foil-wrapped square is a miracle. We're talking about bouillon cubes. This might sound trivial. Flavor? When you're just trying to survive? Wrong. Here's what most people don't get until they're in it. Survival is a mental game. Morale isn't a luxury. It's a critical tool that keeps you sharp and pushing forward. Imagine weeks of eating the same bland food. Day after day of plain rice, plain beans. I've done it on long camping trips, and it's soul-crushing. Now, imagine taking hot water and turning it into a savory broth that smells and tastes like a real meal. That simple act can be the difference between giving up and driving on. Bouillon cubes are the ultimate flavor lifeline. They're concentrated salt, fat, and flavor that turn basic staples into something you actually want to eat. Plain rice and beans become a hearty dish. Bitter foraged greens become a nourishing soup. You can stretch a tiny bit of meat into a big, flavorful stew for the family. From a practical standpoint, they're a prepper's dream. They're tiny, lightweight, and take up almost no space. They're individually wrapped, protecting them from moisture, and their shelf life is years long. It's a perfect buy-it-and-forget-it item. So, why are they worth gold? Because in a world of bland, flavor becomes currency. People will have rice, they will have beans, but they will crave comfort. They will crave a taste of normal. That single cube, which costs pennies today, could be traded for supplies or favors. You're not trading a cube, you're trading morale. And there's almost nothing more valuable than that. Food number 6. Dried beans. The protein engine. Our number 6 pick is a workhorse. It's one of the oldest and most reliable survival foods on the planet. It's the protein engine, dried beans. I know what you're thinking. Beans? Really? But hear me out. In a crisis, fresh meat, eggs, and dairy will be gone almost overnight. Your body needs protein, especially under stress when your requirements can jump by 25%. Protein is for muscle, immunity, and the energy for hard labor. This is where dried beans become gold. They're one of the most efficient, shelf-stable, and cheap sources of plant-based protein there is. A 1-pound bag of pinto beans costs a few bucks today, but packs thousands of calories and a ton of protein and fiber. And they expand when you cook them. So a small amount from your stash makes a huge, filling meal. Here's the key. The shelf life is staggering if you store them right. I'm talking airtight, in Mylar bags or food-grade buckets, away from pests and moisture. Do that. And they can last 20, 30 years. You're not just buying food for a storm. You're buying food security for the next generation. And here's a pro tip most people miss. Combine beans with rice, and you create a complete protein. Together, they give you all the essential amino acids your body needs, just like you'd get from meat. There's a reason billions of people live on this combo. It's cheap, sustainable, and it works. So let's talk barter value. Calories and protein will be the new currency. When people are truly hungry, they will trade anything for a meal that gives them strength. A cup of your dried beans, which cooks into a pot of life-sustaining food, will be worth way more than paper money. People who only stored carbs will be desperate for protein. Your bag of beans is an engine for a family, and that makes it a priceless asset. All right, we're halfway through. If you're finding this information valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. On this channel, we're not about fear. We're about practical, no-nonsense preparedness to help you and your family thrive. And leave a comment below telling me which one of these foods you already have in your pantry. I read every single one. Now, let's get back to it, because the items only get more valuable from here. Food number 5. Peanut butter. The energy brick. All right, on to number 5. And this is pure, ready-to-eat survival fuel. It's a high-calorie, high-protein, no-cook-required powerhouse. We are talking about the energy brick, peanut butter. In a crisis, especially if you're on the move or fuel for cooking is low, calories are king. Your body burns through energy like crazy, and you need to replace it fast. Peanut butter is one of the most calorie-dense foods you can get. Just 2 tablespoons pack around 200 calories, plus protein and healthy fats. This is survival-grade stuff. Think about it. There's no prep needed, no fire, no water. You can eat it straight from the jar. This makes it invaluable for a bug-out bag, a power outage, or any time you can't risk starting a fire. It's instant energy, anytime, anywhere. Plus, it's a huge morale booster, especially if you have kids. In a world turned upside down, the comfort of a familiar food like peanut butter is a big deal. It's a taste of normalcy that makes a bad situation a little more bearable. Never underestimate the power of comfort food. For storage, a sealed jar of commercial peanut butter can last a year or more past its date in a cool, dark place. And while powdered peanut butter is a great long-term option, the convenience of pre-made, high-fat peanut butter is unmatched for instant calories. So, why is it worth gold? Because it solves the immediate problem of energy deficit with zero effort. Someone's exhausted after a day of hard work with no way to cook. You offer them a jar of peanut butter. You're giving them instant strength and a moment of comfort. It's a portable, dense brick of life. In a barter economy, easy solutions are premium, and a jar of peanut butter is a solid gold brick of energy. Food number 4, powdered milk, the hidden luxury. At number 4, we have an item that new preppers overlook, but the seasoned pros consider it a non-negotiable. This isn't just food, it's civilization in a can. It's the hidden luxury, powdered milk. Let's be real. In a long-term crisis, the dairy supply chain will be one of the first things to go. Fresh milk, cheese, yogurt gone. For families with young kids, that's a nutritional disaster. Milk is critical for calcium, vitamin D, and protein for growth. Powdered milk is the only solution. It's the only way to have a steady supply of milk when refrigeration is a memory. Here's the pro tip. Non-fat powdered milk is what you want for the long haul. Stored right, in a sealed, airtight container, it can last 15 to 20 years. Maybe more. Whole milk powder has fat that will go rancid. Just add water, and you have milk for your kids, your coffee, or your cereal. But it's more than a drink. It's a key ingredient that unlocks your food storage. Without it, you can't make decent bread, biscuits, or creamy soups. It lets you turn your basic flour and rice into a huge variety of meals. This is a game changer for morale. Being able to give your kids a bowl of oatmeal with milk instead of water is a small piece of normal that feels like a massive luxury. So, what makes it worth gold? Scarcity and desperation. Families with babies or toddlers will be desperate for it and trade anything to make sure their kids are getting proper nutrition. People will crave the ability to bake, to cook the foods they remember. With a stockpile of powdered milk, you hold one of the keys to nutrition, comfort, and civilization. That bag of powder will become a priceless commodity. Food number 3, rice, the calorie foundation. We're in the top 3. And at number 3, we have the undisputed king of calories, the absolute foundation of any serious prepper's pantry, the food that has sustained empires for millennia. We are talking about white rice. Let me hit you with a fact that should get your attention. When stored correctly, and I mean correctly, in airtight containers with oxygen absorbers, white rice has a shelf life of 20 to 30 years. You can buy a 50-pound bag today, and it will be ready to feed your family decades from now. And yes, it has to be white rice. Brown rice has oils that will make it go rancid in about a year. For true long-term security, white rice is the champion. In a crisis, calories are the currency of survival. Everything you do burns energy. Rice is one of the most calorie-dense and cheapest bulk foods you can buy. It's the foundation of your survival diet. But its true genius is its versatility. Rice is a meal extender. It can take a small can of chicken or a handful of beans and stretch it into a full meal that can feed multiple people. It's the blank canvas for survival cooking. It provides the bulk to make sure no one goes to bed hungry. And as we said, pair it with beans, and you have a nutritional super duo that can sustain you indefinitely. Think about the economics. You can buy a massive number of calories for a very low cost. It's the most efficient way to build a robust food supply on a budget. A big sack of rice in the basement is a bank account full of calories, an insurance policy against hunger. Why will it be worth gold? Because it answers the most fundamental need. After water, the body needs calories. When the stores are empty, a bag of rice will be more valuable than precious metals. You can't eat gold, but you can eat rice. You can trade a few cups of it for batteries, medicine, tools, anything. It's a universal bartering tool because everyone will need what it provides. The basic energy to live another day. Food number 2, canned protein. Survival muscle. We've hit our number 2 spot, and this one solves a critical weakness in most people's plans. Ready to go. Long-lasting protein. In a crisis, this is what separates the weak from the strong. Number 2 is canned protein. I'm talking about the heavy hitters. Canned tuna, chicken, salmon, and yes, even Spam. These aren't just cans of food. They are vaults of ready-to-eat, muscle-building fuel. When the power is out and cooking a meal could be dangerous or attract the wrong kind of attention, being able to pop a top and get instant, safe protein is a massive strategic advantage. As we've said, your body's need for protein skyrockets under stress. It's vital for muscle, tissue repair, and your immune system. When fresh meat is gone, canned meats become your primary source. They are literally survival muscle in a can. Their biggest advantage is safety and convenience. No refrigeration, no cooking. They're already cooked in the can, which also makes them shelf-stable for 3 to 5 years, often longer. They are perfect for the first few chaotic days of a crisis, or anytime you need a quick, safe meal without giving away your position with the smoke and smell of a fire. And look at the nutritional power. A single can of tuna or chicken can provide 20 to 40 grams of protein, a huge boost for a day of hard labor. Canned fish like salmon also provide essential omega-3 fatty acids, which are critical for brain function. So, why are these cans worth their weight in gold? Because when everyone else is trying to figure out how to hunt or trap a tough and uncertain process, you have protein right there, ready to go. A hungry person living on carbs will trade almost anything for the strength and satisfaction of meat. A single can of chicken could be traded for a week's worth of firewood. It represents security, strength, and a full belly in a world where all three are rare. Food number 1. Honey. The forever food. And here we are. The number 1 pantry food that will be worth more than gold in a crisis. This is a substance so incredible, they've found it in ancient Egyptian tombs, thousands of years old, and it was still perfectly edible. The ultimate survival food, the king of the prepper pantry, is honey. Honey's most amazing property is its eternal shelf life. Now, we're talking about pure, raw honey. The cheap, processed stuff in the plastic bear might not cut it. But real honey will never, ever spoil. It's naturally antibacterial and has such low moisture that microorganisms can't survive in it. It's the only food on this list that is a true, forever food. You can store it and know it will be there for you in 5 years or 50. But its value goes way beyond being a sweetener. Honey is a triple threat. It's food, it's medicine, and it's a high-value trade good. As food, it's a dense source of carbs for a quick, powerful energy boost, life-saving in a pinch. As medicine, its power is legendary. For thousands of years, honey has been used on wounds. Its antibacterial properties help prevent infection. In a world without easy access to antibiotics or sterile bandages, this one capability makes honey invaluable. It can also be used to soothe a sore throat or cough, providing comfort when you're most vulnerable. And this is what makes it liquid gold. In a barter economy, items with multiple critical uses are king. Honey is the pinnacle. Its demand is universal. It serves the most fundamental needs: energy, health, and comfort. Because it never spoils, it's a stable store of value. Better than paper money. A jar of honey is a jar of medicine, energy, comfort, and wealth. All in one. It is, without a doubt, the single most valuable food you can have in your pantry when the world turns upside down. There you have it, the 8 pantry foods that will be worth their weight in gold. We've covered apple cider vinegar, bouillon cubes, dried beans, peanut butter, powdered milk, rice, canned protein, and the forever food honey. Notice the pattern? The most valuable items aren't just about calories. They're about versatility, nutrition, morale, and solving problems. It's about having items that serve multiple purposes: food, medicine, and trade. This isn't about hoarding. It's about taking smart, practical steps today to be self-reliant tomorrow. It's about building a pantry that lets you not just survive, but thrive and provide for your family. The peace of mind from that is the real treasure. Start small. On your next grocery trip, just pick up an extra jar of honey or a bag of beans. Every small step builds a more secure future. If you learned something today, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because our next video is going to break down the essential non-food items that become priceless in a crisis. You don't want to miss it. Stay smart, stay prepared.